Hi guys, on today's video we're going to talk about how I optimized my super. So if you remember on my previous video, I gave a few tips on getting the most out of super fund, which basically is finding a low cost super fund, making sure that you only have one fund, that you join all your accounts in one fund, then doing a bit of salary sacrifice. On today's video, we're gonna go a bit further. The reason why I recommend finding a low-cost super fund and making sure that you only have one fund is that because it reduces your overall costs for the fund. Instead of paying that money to the fund, you're actually keeping that money in your pocket. When you're choosing which fund to keep your accounts in, it's very important that you check two things. First one is if the fund has a history of good investment returns. Really important, because the biggest the return the fund can give you, the more money you're going to have for retirement. The second important thing is to check the insurances within the fund and to check if those insurances cover your specific line of work. For example, if you're a tradie, there are some super funds that don't cover injuries or deaths that happen on a construction site. So you need to double check exactly what you're covered for when you apply for the insurances within the fund. Why is it important to have your insurance within your super account? Basically, the reason why is to save money on tax. If you were going to have insurance anyway, and you were going to pay for it with your after-tax money, you're much better off doing it within your super, because then instead of paying a 32, 37, 45% tax on that money, you're only paying the 15% within your super. This information is not new, and I got it from the book The Barefoot Investor by Scott Pape, where it goes through in detail the step-by-step on optimization on the super. So the link for the book is in the description if you're interested. It is really good, and I definitely recommend that book. If you're liking this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell icon so you are notified every time I release a new video. A quick disclaimer: in this next section, the information that I'm giving is what I do for my portfolio, what I do for my super, and it's not a recommendation on what you should do on yours. It's just showing you what I decided to do on mine. You should talk to a financial advisor or to your super fund and make the decision that is best for you. Okay? The super fund I use is Host Plus because it has fairly low fees and a reasonable investment return history. Within Host Plus, I have an option for controlling my own investments, which is called Choice Plus. Choice Plus has a few pros and cons. So what are the cons? It has an extra cost on top of the fees that you're already paying of about $180 per year. And it also has trading costs for every time you purchase or sell stocks or funds. So for most people, this is probably not worth, but I found it interesting in my case. The pros is that it gives you access to a great range of investment options, and it kind of lets you do a bit of a self-managed super fund without all the extra costs and extra work that you have to do to have a self-managed super fund. There are a few important limitations that you need to understand on this Choice Plus. There are three main ones. One is that you can only have 80% of your balance in these stocks or funds that you can buy that are listed in the stock market. Second one is that you can't have more than 20% of your balance in any single stock or fund. And number three is that your minimum purchase is about $1,500 per trade. To keep things simple, I try not to trade too often. So I set myself a target to only do some rebalancing or new investments once or twice a year. This keeps my trading costs low and avoids the trap of trying to time the market, which is impossible. I still keep my regular contributions every month, but it's only the actual investing into index funds that I do a couple times a year. But my regular contributions continue every single month. For most people, there's no need to keep working on their super very often. They just need to make sure that they're doing their normal contributions. And then they need to choose which is the best investment for them. There was a lot of people during this coronavirus pandemic that thought, oh, I'll change my super to a conservative one or to cash so I don't lose too much money. Problem is, when they did that, they probably did it after the market had crashed and their super had already lost a lot of money. And then the same people left their money in cash while the market was recovering. So they did what every single person does all the time when they don't know much about investing, and they try to time the market. They sold at the bottom and now they're gonna have to buy it back at the top. So they lost all the gains that the market had during the crash. The important thing with investing is to keep it simple and just keep adding money month over month. Don't try to time the market. Try to spend time in the market. The standard balanced or growth arrangements within your super are probably more than enough to give you very good returns as long as you are in one of those good funds that we spoke before. So again, don't try to time the market. Just make sure that you're spending the most time possible in the market. So just put your money there and give it yourself as much time as possible to let it grow. If you like this video and want to know more, click on the video on the pop-up banner where I show how I'm planning to retire a millionaire by investing in my super. Thank you. Have a nice one, guys.